It is 2025. I haven't done the things I wanted to do. The little podcast video I haven't edited for discussing what I'd like to see next year with my friend. So either I might get onto that or I just might leave it because I've been really busy and really sick, and I also haven't gone through my other track of the week. So I'll probably just make a compilation of every track of the week just as a separate video. And then continue on just as normal. So we are back with the first album I'm going to review this year. This is Paleface Swiss, a deathcore band that has been blowing up quite a bit. Definitely getting the attention. I was surprised by the band's being kind of lurking around the 1 million monthly listener chart on Spotify, which is pretty good for a deathcore band. So Cursed is the brand new record, the third full-length LP. I was going to say EP, and I kind of think that's due to the fact that this album is less than half an hour, and while it is enough songs to be in a full record, it's a very short listen, and interesting one in that case. So Paleface Swiss is a band that plays a lot with beatcore and deathcore elements, combining the two, so you kind of get some nice little grooves in there. And I honestly enjoy what Paleface Swiss have done. I think there was a feature on the Left to Suffer record last year where they appeared on one of the tracks, and I think I honestly just got a good impression from them. I think if it's fast delivery with aggressive vocals, they do it pretty nicely. And I also was drawn to the fact that they did the corn scat, which, if you like corn scat, you get this one in the track, and with Hope You'll Be Damned, which I think the whole song is just corn inspired, which is very interesting to get a deathcore artist to blend in new metal elements like that. But unfortunately, most of it is dominated with one band in particular in sound, Slipknot. Preferably early Slipknot. It's definitely coded in the guitar, drums and the guitars, where you have sort of fast-paced rhythm. Slipknot always have this fast-paced groove, and Joey was always a menace at it, but I think it's a groove that all of the newer drummers have been bringing to Slipknot, and it kind of feels reminiscent of that, to be honest. The guitars as well also just kind of have this rapid fire kick, which a lot of the songs Slipknot has. Some of it just even feels like Slipknot riffs, and this is a fine trait because I think it's interesting to put it more into a metalcore perspective. This record doesn't really have deathcore elements, rather pushes for more metalcore meets new metal, so more new metalcore if anything, and I think there's some good variety, and it's a very good experimentation for the band to go for. But I think some of the ideas just get completely off the top, just silly at this point. Enough, which I remember being the absolute most disliked track on the record by many. I don't blame them. Enough is a song that just completely shits on haters for not wanting change, for not wanting anything. They're just fake fans, and that's pretty much the whole song, and it just reads as the most cringiest thing I've seen since Ronnie Radke's Falling in Reverse Popular Monster album came out, and the Enough song just feels like it's written to mimic the type of writing that Ronnie brought to that record, which is unfortunate. I just get this overall prequel vibe of it from that. It's a very bad song, and then they try to bring more of this kind of heavy towards the end of it. It doesn't even save it, because I think the whole song lyrically is just god awful. The writing's not too bad for the rest of the record, but Enough is a huge slump into the sea of experimenting. It just takes it too far into a very odd area. I wouldn't mind the rapping per se if it was actually good, but the writing on it was horrendous, because I think the vocalist has got a pretty good clean vocal range, and he's also got some obviously some good uncleans. For more cleans, you get River of Sorrows, which just feels like a Sleep Token song, which I'm quite surprised, because it doesn't really feel like it would fit with the new metal aesthetic of this record. But I must say, it probably is one of my more favoured tracks. I think the cleans work nicely. It's nice to kind of give this a softer pattern. Obviously, they're making the album more accessible for people who aren't big on deathcore, which, again, is a just up to taste and opinion, but I think it does work because it does give them a little bit of room to experiment, and I think the Sleep Token-esque part feels like they're taking heavier elements of it. You've got more aggressive vocals here and there, you've got some build-ups, just heavy moments, but also a lot of it is quite unclean. But even the vocals feel like they're trying to mimic the way the Vessel pronounces words in some of the songs, so it's very pretty much trying to captivate what worked with Sleep Token into that. And then the rest of the songs, a lot of them just feel like Slipknot, not to get them confused with Sleep Token. I think there's a bunch of good ideas. Hatred was a fun song. I remember this single kept jamming on repeat. It's quite fun. And I put Love Burns as one of my track of the weeks last year, because it is a really fun song. I like the ending. I think it's got a nice kind of departure from the sound to just explore this melodic approach towards the end. But I think the overall aesthetic of the record, it can be fun, but I think some of it just feels too hard trying to mimic other artists, and it kind of loses a little bit of the identity in that regard. I think this album still is impressive when it comes to the mixing, when it comes to production. Just a lot of the instrumentals sound clean as well. I think it still gets you headbanging, but I can see a lot of people being disappointed with this one, and I think, while I've seen some people call it album of the year, it's only the start of the year, and I can guarantee it's definitely not my album of the year. I think this is a record I kind of think is good enough to be good, but not a great record by any means. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. It's a decent listen, and I think it doesn't really offer much wrong other than enough, but with tracks like Youth Decay and Don't You Ever Stop, I think they do bring some cool elements into it, even if some of it does feel like Slipknot. But there is a little bit of classic Paleface Swiss here, but it's not the same band they once were at this point with the whole change. Well, that sounds a little bit redundant from me. It's obviously the same band, but if you're looking for the same sound that they brought, it's very different. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, hope you'll enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.